Guys, in this video here we will be testing this Turtle Wax Headlight Lens Restorer. I have this Honda headlamp here. I'm not sure what kind of model it's from, but it's from one of those 4x4 crossover slash SUV cars. I don't remember the model, but as you can see, the lens here is in, I would say, okay condition, but we have a lot of like washing swirls, or how you pronounce that, some rock chips, and overall a slight bit of fading, but nothing like you will see on this kit here. So it won't be like a complete test from a worst case scenario, because I couldn't find any of my, or at least I have like 6 headlamps like laying around for testing, but I'd thrown away those old foggy ones. But I think that if you have a headlamp that is in much worse condition, the only difference would be that you need to like sand and do more of the work itself, or like the polishing. You have to polish it more, and then you will see the same result. But we will also see from headlamp like this if we can get some more brightness out of it. So even if your headlamps are not maybe in the worst condition, like super foggy like this, maybe it's a good idea to do some slight polishing to get some better light on the road for safety reasons. So in the kit you have some spray lubricant for the wet sanding part, and for the wet sanding part you have 4 grades of sandpaper, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then you also have some clarifying compound, which I would guess is more like just regular polishing. Then you probably go over to the lens base coat. Not sure the differences here, but we will take a look at that later. Then like the lens sealing coat, which is gonna coat the lens with some UV protectant, so it won't fade like the next day. And I would hope that this is somewhat of a good coating, and that would mean it's a chemical, and then you need to wear some gloves, of course, which it comes with. And I would guess this is more like for one headlamp. So you start off by washing it, and you need to use Turtle Wax shampoo, otherwise it won't be as good. No, just get it clean. Mine is clean. Use masking tape to protect painted surfaces around the headlamp, because otherwise you maybe also miss and then sand the car, and then you need to do some polishing to get it great again. I think the best result is to get the headlights out of the car, so if it's easy to get it out of the car, yeah, just take it out. So step 3, if you don't have a lot of fog on the headlamp, you are just supposed to use a clarifying compound. If it's not necessary, of course you don't want to cut off too much plastic and such, and then you just put on this clarifying compound on a rag or on a polishing machine, then just polish away and see if it gets out good. Otherwise we have to go to step 4, and that is to begin to spray lubricant and step 1, and then work through all of the gradings on the sandpaper here. So some spray lubricants, and then you take the number 1, and then you use 2 fingers, and then you go back and forth in one direction, and you only want to change direction when you change to the next step in the gradeness. So number 2 we will go this way, but for number 1 we will just go this way now. So after some time, so you get the roughness off, you go to step 2, and then we go to the opposite side, and I say like around 1 minute, and then you change to number 3, and you go the other way again 1 minute, and then number 4, and you go the opposite direction again. So you get my point, and now I will do that and then clean it off. So one thing is for sure, if you're gonna do this on a very foggy headlamp, it's gonna take you a lot of time. I'm now finished with the sanding bit. Now we are just gonna clean it off, and we will go with the clarifying compound on this. But it feels nice, but we can still see like the washing marks. But I have followed the instructions, and yeah, you can probably get better results if you go for a longer time, I would guess. But in this case here, the headlamp isn't in the worst condition already, and I want to follow the instructions so we can actually see how this product performs. So after it's cleaned off and dried, you can see that it's much more foggy now. But now we will go on with the clarifying compound, and I'm gonna use a rag to polish it. Then we will probably see a more clearer result, and then we will go with the sealing stuff later, which is probably gonna give it a much nicer finish. So I'm now like used 10 minutes with a cloth to polish it by hand. Let that compound dry, and then we can clean it off. And then we are gonna apply the base coat first after everything here is cleaned. Lens base coat, then just let it dry, and then immediately you go over with the lens sealing wipe. And read through the manual, and this kit here is made for 2 headlamps actually, so that's a good thing. But then you of course need to do this simultaneously, because you can't open it and then like let it dry and then do the other headlamp. So you need to finish everything before when you're on this step here. So clean it off just with paper at first, and then microfiber and some window cleaning fluid thing there. And when the light is off, it looks very good. When the light is on, yeah, not so good, but at least not perfect, but that is under direct sunlight. Can see a lot of micro scratches, so if you were much better at polishing with a machine or something like that, I think you will have a much better result. But not everybody have a machine to polish. And as we can see also, all of the rock chips, yeah, I think you need to sand very hard or through a lot of material to get that off. But I think some of this will clear up when we get the coats on it. So let's start with the lens base coat. Not sure how we are gonna apply it, but I think we will just spread it around at first, and then like drag the cloth like over it like this, like a Zamboni, or how you would dry off your car with a microfiber towel to get the bubbles out. So the base coat spreads out nicely, I would say. Trying to get the bubbles out of it, I think that will be a good idea, but otherwise the bubbles seem to like disappear by themselves. So yeah, looks good at this point. It's much clearer now, which is very nice. Don't have that much washing marks, but yeah, still have one coat to go. So it will cure in 24 hours, the last coat, but vehicle can be driven immediately after application. So I'm not sure how that works. But looking at a headlamp like this, when there's no direct light on it, and looking up close, I have to say it looks very nice. Yeah, looks very nice and clear actually. Try to get the coating on there as good as I could. It's not perfect, but looking at it like this, we can see like all of the washing marks seems to be gone, at least not be so easy to see anymore, because we have like coated it with a new layer. But some of the imperfections are under there, as of course, and I think I will like try it for 1 hour or so, then we will test the brightness. And don't get this into your eyes. So we have the headlamp hooked up here to a switch power supply, which gives the same supply of power, so they run at the same brightness in each test. Lined it up to this wall here at my best ability. Of course I can't get the light perfectly in the middle every time in the same position, but I think I got very close, and we will see the results here before and after. I don't have good images because I'm using my phone to like show the difference, but I have made a measurement in each of these black points, and then we can see percentage wise how the brightness have changed. So here we have the readings, and I have set the percentage difference from the old to the new or restored with the restored lens. And we can see overall in all of the measured points, those black points, I've used a lux meter and tried to set the headlamp at the exact same position. And we can see overall that doing this fix here was a very big upgrade. So I'm very happy to see that not only the headlamp lens looks much clearer, but we also see a huge upgrade in light. So for the price of this kit, I would say it's absolutely worth the money. You get a much clearer headlamp, which looks better, and you also get much better performance, which is a safety concern as well. The only thing that I don't know and I'm not able to see is how the UV coating on this will hold up. You have seen all of those videos on YouTube where people are using toothbrush to polish the headlamps and then not doing anything about it later. They would just fog up again. So since you're putting on this UV coating on top, I think, or it's supposed to take out the UV from the sunlight, which breaks down the plastic, so it's gonna protect the lens. And I have done this kind of kits on my one of my subs, and for me at least, that hold up very well over time as well. So yeah, I would absolutely recommend this product, and I hope if you're in the USA and found this video helpful, and if you're gonna buy this kit, maybe buy it through the link down below if you choose to use Amazon, of course, because that also gives me some money percentage wise out of your purchase, so I also get something back from making a video like this, not only the kit that I bought for no reason but to make this video. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful for your safety.